There was an epic duel the last time we went Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Racing. And in the end, veteran Jimmy Jarrett outlasted the kids for his first win in 10 years. While they celebrated, title contender Charlie Mullins struggled. Did the hot rod bounce back?
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. Oh, now I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Racer TV's coverage of the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. Jason Wygant and Krista Shaw, your host for round 11, the MotorcycleUSA.com Titan GNCC. Teams and riders getting prepped and ready to go racing. We already have plenty of riders out there in our morning race for amateurs. Over 1,000 riders will be competing throughout the day today. And it's a big, long racetrack, over 10 miles in length, and our top riders will race for 3 hours. Expect them to do 60 or 70 miles this afternoon. They will be going through these very tight woods at a very fast clip. The pressure is on, though, with only 3 races to go in the championship for both XC2. There's Caleb Russell, your points leader in that division. The man chasing him, Jason Thomas. And in the XC1 class, Josh Strang trying to hold off Charlie Mullins. They are number 2 and 3. That's the numbers on their bikes. They are first and second in points this year. So let's see how it turns out with the championship drama hanging here at the Titan. And it looks like defending series champ Paul Whibley into the inside. Rider on the outside goes down. I believe that's the rookie Corey Buttrick, so a clean MotorcycleUSA.com hole shot for Whibley, who is riding on the Yamaha YZ450F, the motocross bike. He was riding the WR, the off-road bike, most of the year, so far so good for Wibbs, who has struggled mightily. Now we got a helmet cam mounted up on Thad Duvall, and you see what happens when you do not get a good start. He has traffic and dust to deal with, and this is just in the open stuff. Imagine when we get deep into the woods how hard it's going to be to pass. So Bad Thad, who like Whibley is now riding on the YZ, has got his work cut out for him because he doesn't have the good start like Wibbs does. There's Jarrett, last week's winner. He is up to 3rd. Nate Canny, our runner-up last time, is right behind him. Strang in the number 2 just came by. There is Barry Hawk, and I missed Mullins. Not sure where he is. We'll check back in here with Duvall, who is just trying to get into the top 10. And Duvall, not known for his starts. He is extremely fast, though, and he battled right down to the wire with Strang in our last race, trying to get on the podium. Oh, XC2, Russell, our points leader, could not get the bike fired. Oh, and rider's down in the first turn. That's going to open up a clear hole shot for Brian Lawson out of Adams, Massachusetts. So Lawson, been competing in our series the last couple of years, has got the early lead. He's got Jesse Robinson right behind him. Jason Thomas not too far back, and we're still looking for Russell. There he is. He just came through on the outside, about next to last. Now Robinson moving into the lead in front of Lawson, with Thomas, Nick Davis, and Scotty Watkins coming through next. So Caleb Russell, this is not what he needed. He is in the thick of a points battle right now, and he needs a better start. There he goes with the number 1 on his back. He is last year's XC2 champ, but he has had some trouble with consistency this year, kind of like our XC1 champ, Paul Whibley, leading the way right now. He has not won a single race this year, a disaster for him. Now riders getting into the heart of this Tennessee Titan racetrack. Dennis Jonan, a motocrosser, by the way, is second early. Oh, there goes Josh Strang, a nice line up the left side. Strang and Mullins have been getting bad starts as of late, and that's made it very tough on them. These are long 3-hour races, but you see the advantage Whibley has. He's able to relax, save his energy, just cruise. Jarrett moving into the number 2 spot. Jonan under pressure from Nate Canny and Corey Buttrick. Canny and Buttrick also on 2011 KTMs, and there goes the number 3 of Mullins, just a spot or 2 in front of Strang, and those are the 2 battling for this GNCC championship. Barry Hawk on the uphill waterfall, and now we get Duvall firsthand going up it with our helmet cam. Now we go back to the leader, Whibley, back into the open stuff, but he has his old teammate Jarrett right behind him. They both rode for that Geico Kawasaki JG Racing squad last year. Whibley moving over to Yamaha, taking the number 1 plate with him. It is not gone that well. He is way back in the points, looking for his first win of the year. And so far, so good for the Axeman out of New Zealand. There's Jarrett riding on the confidence of last week's win. Nate Canny has closed the gap. He is third. Shown it. No, that's Chris Bach, the rookie, up to number 4 spot. Then it's Mullins, Buttrick. I believe Glenn Carney came through, and now Josh Strang. And pressure, I believe, might be a factor here with these starts. You've got to stay relaxed on the starting line, which is so difficult. And it's tough to do that when you have a championship that you're racing for. And that's the case. It is a do-or-die day for Mullins. He needs to get to the front and leave Strang in the dust. It's easier said than done. Some fans here in the woods cheering on Chris Bach, who has moved up to second. Where's Jarrett? He has gone back to 4th. So Bach and Canny making a run for it. They're going after the champ, Paul Whitley. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Welcome back to the Tennessee Titan GNCC. We'll show you some classes from yesterday's ATV race just to give you an idea of the variety of equipment that races out here. These 4-wheel drive and utility riders and machines are very, very serious. We also have a variety of sport 450cc quads that race as well. In our 10 a.m. race, they're out on the track. Easy for me to say. They're all out on the track at the same time, which is an interesting comparison. And of course, we have our pro ATV riders out there as well. Come and join us for the series finale. There's still time. October 23rd and 24th, the Ironman finale. Back to our XC1 bikes, and Chris Bach now to the lead. Jimmy Jarrett second, Mullins to third, Strang to 4th, and nowhere to be found is the number 1, Paul Whitley, who was leading. Whitley, we hear, has crashed and injured his thumb, so now Bach, the rookie out of Indiana, the number 1 spot. He's got Jarrett, Mullins, Strang right there, so I guess none to worry for the bad starts of Mullins and Strang. They are already up to the front of the pack, and look how tight this section is. Riders having to weave just to keep the handlebars from tagging those trees. But Bach, who nearly won our series opener, was battling with Strang in Florida down to the last lap and has had a couple of podium finishes this year. He is the man on point right now. Now, I cannot stress enough, you cannot practice on these GNCC tracks. These riders won't see the trail until they actually race on it. So in these opening laps, you do see a lot of mistakes and a lot of riders just riding conservatively to learn where the trail goes. Last thing you want to do is make a wrong turn or hit a tree, but Mullins and Strang have obviously picked up the pace there in second and third. They are around Jarrett. Then you've got Carney and Buttrick coming through next. We have also lost, as we see Duval come through, Nate Canny has been lost from the front group. He has had a huge crash, and we hear Canny is out of this race. We'll try to get a report on him in a bit. But Mullins and Strang are now 1-2, dropping Bach to third, so that's how quickly things can change in a Grand National cross-country race. In a motocross race, you get the good start, it makes all the difference. Here, a good start is helpful, but it does not ruin your day. There's so much time to make up ground. There's Bach in third. Let's see if he can stay with Mullins and Strang, who you know have championship intensity. They need to beat each other. And it's going to be tough for the rookie to stay with him, although he's been strong all year. As people like to say, they've got that big Y hanging in front of them. Y hanging out all over the edge. Y push the envelope because they need the points. And they are pulling away. Mullins and Strang, we've been waiting for this showdown all year long. It seems like when one rider has a good race, the other rider has a bad one. Here is Bach, now under pressure from Carney, and you see the helmet cam? That's Thad Duval, who has gotten in front of Corey Buttrick. So a good day for Duval, who has been very inconsistent since moving up to this XC1 Pro class last year. Strang has picked it up. He is all over the back fender of Mullins, and it is like a motocross pace right now for these two as they have distanced themselves from this battle. Bach, Carney, Duval, Buttrick, and the rest. And this track is choppy, as we said, over 1,000 riders competing throughout the weekend. The ATVs did some damage yesterday. Then we had youth bikes this morning, amateur bikes a little bit after that. And now at 1 o'clock, the best of the best are racing on the worst of the worst trail conditions. And Mullins actually pulling away a bit from Strang. Here's Bach in front of Carney. Carney running a 310 kit on his normally 250 Husqvarna. And then you have the 350 of Buttrick. A lot of different theories as to how to go fast on a track with this much variety. When you got these uphills and these high-speed sections, you certainly want the 450, but when you're riding for 3 hours and wrestling a bike through the woods, the theory is that a lighter, smaller bike might allow you to save some energy toward the end of the race. We'll see how that pans out. I have to say, no matter what bike Mullins and Strang are riding today, they are going to be tough to beat because, again, they have to beat each other. And just like that, Strang closes the gap back in. Now, these two used to be teammates with Suzuki. Mullins has gone back to his old home at Yamaha. They're pretty good friends off the track, but can that remain with this type of intensity? Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. We got a new leader here. Jason Wygant, your host for Racer TV. Josh Strang out of Australia has taken the lead from Ohio's Charlie Mullins, but you've got a feeling that this is just the beginning of what could be a long battle between these two. Chris Bach is back in third, but they have dropped everyone. Bach, Duval, Carney, Buttrick. Oh, there's Buttrick using the left-hand side to try to close the gap. Didn't pay off. Last time around, Strang and Mullins ran 27-minute lap times, whereas everyone else was in the 28s or 29s. And even through these canyon sections where it's very slippery, whoa, look at Bach. Nice move. Didn't have to ride up through the water. I was just about to say how slippery it is through here, and you've really got to be careful. But Strang and Mullins aren't careful. They're pushing it, and Bach didn't have to worry. He found traction by going to the outside and finding some dirt. Well, as I mentioned before we went to break, Strang and Mullins both used to ride and train together in Hickory, North Carolina. Strang has now moved out to Southern California. It's the headquarters of Suzuki's off-road racing team. Here's Thad Duval, who's now climbed up to third. But anyway, those two have ridden together, they've trained together, they've been teammates together, and they've been pretty nice to each other this year, but you've got to wonder, with the championship hanging in the balance and a battle brewing today, can that last? We'll be back to this action in a moment. It's time for the Rocky Mountain Spotlight.
Hi, this is Tim Borg. I race the Masters B class in the GNCC series. This week's Rocky Mountain Spotlight is the Tusk Motorcycle Bolt Kit.
And thanks, Tim. The bolt kits are available in a 170-piece kit for European bikes or a 180-piece kit for Japanese bikes, each retailing for $29.99, and they include all the bolts, nuts, washers, cotter pins, and everything else you need to put your bike back together. Or go with one of the trail kits. It's $12.99, and it'll get you going on the trail if you have a breakdown. Take it away, Tim.
For more information and to purchase this Tusk Motorcycle Bolt Kit, go to RockyMountainMC.com.
Well, if the racing thing doesn't work out, maybe Tim can help us on our show. Here's what he would have to talk about. Strang Mullins. The lead is nearly a minute over the third-place rider, Thad Duval. Look at how fast Duval is going. And they're still pulling away. These guys are on fire. And speaking of that, look at this. Caleb Russell just went by ahead of his teammate Corey Buttrick. That means Russell from row 2 is climbing up toward the front of the overall leaderboard. And that means he's got a nice-sized lead over his XC2 competition. Look at Strang and Mullins. They've discovered that right-hand side where Chris Bach went earlier. We now hear that Bach has crashed out of the race. Whibley is still circulating way back, but Bach and Canny are out. So that is what has allowed Duval to take over third all to himself. Whoa, Mullins gets the lead back from Strang and nearly gives it back. Manages to keep it on 2 wheels, but look, he's extended it over Strang now, so now it's Strang's turn to push maybe a little over the edge to get back to his rival, and Mullins is putting the hammer down. The hot rod needs to put distance between himself and Strang before the stretch run. If Strang can't see him, it's going to be that much harder to catch him. Mullins knows it. He charged into this wet, muddy creek bed corner like it was a motocross track. Yeah, these guys, you do not normally see riders through these slippery creek sections push it quite this hard. And there's Duval, who is riding as well as he has all year, but he's facing a 56-second gap. Now back into the open stuff, and Strang has closed back in on Mullins, so the battle is far from over. And Duval making our helmet cam look good up to the number 3 spot. But that helmet cam, even with a zoom lens, isn't going to show you this. Oh, Strang back in front of Mullins. As they work their way through the chicane in pit row, Mullins and Strang both into the pits. Could this race come down to who can get fuel, get goggles, and get out faster? It looks like it's Strang. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Look at this race. Jason Wygant, your host of Racer TV. It's the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. It's Josh Strang and Charlie Mullins duking it out. The white flag is out. We're 2.5 hours into a 3-hour race, and they are still wheel to wheel. And the lead is over 1.5 minutes over anyone else on this track. This is going to be settled privately. And with only 3 races to go, if Mullins doesn't get the win today, he might not be able to make up enough points to catch Strang. This is a must-win. Meanwhile, Corey Buttrick is going to make the move on Thad Duval for 3rd. So 2 battles to watch. The leaders, Strang and Mullins, and the 2 kids behind him, the sophomore Duval and the rookie Buttrick, battling for that last podium spot. Listen to that. Both over-revving into that ditch. This one could come down to lap traffic. You see Strang up on the pegs again, riding it like a motocrosser right now. And everything he does right, Mullins is able to match him. Now they drop down into the slippery stuff. You have to be so careful over these tree roots and these rocks. But they're throwing caution to the wind right now. They need to up the pace, and they're going to just take some chances. You hear them on the brakes. It's hard to get on the brakes hard. It's like ice riding through that section, but you couldn't tell how hard they're going into the corners. And here we are, back into higher speed stuff. Still chasing each other around. Mullins keeping the heat all over Josh Strang. This is probably the best race of the year to watch. We go a little bit further back. Buttrick in front of Duval. So Buttrick, real strong charge down the stretch. But then he goes down, he had a hand off the bars and crashes, and there goes Duval to take 3rd back. Now luckily there's an electric start on that 350 KTM, but Buttrick worked so hard to get that spot, he gives it back. Now here's Strang. Listen to that, wide open through the field, and Mullins has lost a little bit of ground. Time is running out if the number 3 wants to go to the number 1 spot. But he is still right there. But this is it, the stretch run, and Josh Strang has got it. A clutch victory here at the Titan. And Mullins right on his rear wheel in 2nd. What a race. And it looks like Duval has gone down as well. And Buttrick is going to retake the 3rd place spot. Let's go down to Krista.
All right, Corey, it was a little bit of a crazy race out there. You crashed on the start, but you made it back to third place. Tell us how it went.
Yeah, it was definitely a ways back. I knew it was going to be hard to make up a lot of time. It seemed like it's always really, really tough when you have a bad start, but that's how it went. But I knew after walking the track it was so open and there's so many lines, I was like, you're going to be able to make some good passes. Well, it ended up working pretty good, and at the end I got in a really good race with Duvall, and he ended up falling at the end right after I fell, and I ended up getting around him, but definitely had a really good race with him, and I'm pretty tired. That was a pretty tough one.
And there you see Duvall hangs on for a fourth, and nice job by Whibley and Bach to salvage top 10 finishes. Let's go down to the runner-up, Charlie Mullins.
Charlie, unfortunately, you weren't able to take the win today. Tell us a little bit how your race went.
It was okay. Didn't get the best of starts. I think I rounded the woods maybe 6 or so, then made some passes. People made some mistakes, and I was able to get in the lead at one point, and I seen Josh was in second and made a pass, and he got around me, and pretty much from there we just kind of hooked up and rode our own race, kind of me and him, and gave it everything I had in the end, but came up a little bit short, but he rode awesome, and it was a good day. I had a lot of fun.
And in XC2, Caleb Russell needed this win, and he gets it over Robinson and Thomas to extend his points lead. Let's go down to Josh Strang.
All right, Josh, it's been a while since we've seen you up here in the #1 spot. I know you've got to be pretty excited. Do you want to tell us about your race?
Oh man, yeah, it's been too long to be even up on the podium. So to get a win today, I'm stoked, and getting closer to that main goal. So today was good. Didn't get the best of starts, but I just rode my own race and got to the front, end of the second lap or something, and then battled out with Charlie for the rest of the race. So it was a good race. He rode really good, and can't thank FMF Makita Suzuki enough for helping me out and get me up here again.
Time to check out the race recap. Paul Whibley grabs the MotorcycleUSA.com whole shot, but soon crashes and injures his thumb, opening the door for Charlie Mullins and Josh Strang to get in the #1 and 2 spots. Chris Bach and Glenn Carney tried to hang with them early. They would have their problems. The leaders would continue to pull away. Pretty clear it would be a 2-horse race. Corey Butcher came from way back in the pack to displace Thad Duvall from third. So those two battled it out for that spot, while Mullins and Strang continued to pour it on out front. It was a 2-horse race. What a race it was. On the last lap, Butcher would have his problems going down. Duvall would pass him, Butcher would get him back, as Strang held on for the win by just 1 bike length over Mullins in the race of the year. Now the championship is headed Strang's way. We'll see if he can wrap it up the next time we go GNCC Racing.